All right. Hey, is there anybody there? This is Professor Cummings, and just coming with my 20,000 subscribers. And I wanted to just do a quick video, just hoping to make it a question and answer session. Hopefully, if anybody is around, I can actually answer some questions. Let's see here. I'm trying to look at the other screen and see if I can get you guys. Why is it? So if you're there, give me some feedback. Either type your name, type 1 or 2, something to let me know. Right now, I don't know whether anybody's actually watching. And I don't know if you're watching, if you can actually hear me. Let's see, I'm trying to, let's see, I share my screen. So now you should see something happen. There we go. So I know that the screen has changed. So if you're there, go ahead and let me know what you're there. And if there's any questions you want to ask, I'm only going to be on here for a little bit. Kind of give myself some sort of a, time to answer any questions or give a little bit of background on who I am and why you're probably watching my channel. All right, so let's see. How can we control the quality? I was hoping not to get into technical questions, but more for but more questions about what who I am. I don't think I really talk about myself, Bakur. But what's the one question you have? How can we control the quality while heating metal? Well, it depends on your process. The best way of controlling the quality is the type of material that you have, right? And the type of material you have, as well as the temperature of your oven or your particular foundry. And understand, the better the temperature control, the more you'll have what part of the phase diagram, or what phase that metal is in. Particularly in the recrystallization zone. And can't remember, it's knowing the metal you have, the size, the volume, and the original alloy, and knowing exactly what temperature you're bringing it to. That's totally the best way you have. But hopefully, I don't know that answered your question or not. So just a little bit about me. I never did an intro video before. So it's this crazy captain. We can hear you. Okay, so you can hear me, and you're just talking. Okay, that's comfortable. All right, so here we go. Let's see. So you know my name. I'm a professor at University of Cincinnati, and let's see, Jane. Oh, and where did I go to school? I went to school at Purdue University. Graduated at Purdue University. I went to the school, got my degree, my bachelor's degree in 1992. It's a long time ago. And I went back for my, graduate school, my master's and so on from in the 2000s. And that's when I went to graduate school. So I was actually working. I went to Purdue, graduated, and I started working in the automotive industry. And I was in the automotive industry for one company in Detroit for about 4 years. Then I left, went to another company that was not quite automotive. They actually did refrigeration systems, and I was a manufacturing engineer. When I was a quality engineer when I was at Detroit, as well as a supervisor. I worked at the test dynos, testing engines, and that's where I did a lot of SPC type, statistical process control, and organizational type stuff. Lean. I didn't quite get into lean. I did. Take it back. We did get into some lean back then, and that's when I first got trained in GD&T, geometric dimension and tolerancing, because it was part of the quality, and they wanted to make sure that everyone in the quality department could read and understand blueprints. So I was there for 4 years, working on engines, for on highway trucks. Then I moved to Ohio, and I started working for a company where they were actually, I was going to be a manufacturing engineer. And for them, all I did was, well, not all I did, but I was a manufacturing engineer, but they were setting up new factories in other parts of the country, as well as overseas. So I did get to travel to Northern Ireland, as well as to Belgium and Thailand. Let me see if I can control my volume so I can hear myself here. So I did that back during the late 90s. So I was basically, what they did was they would go to different factories or go to different locations, and we would set up the factory. So I'd set up the machine shop. I would do the runoffs, do a lot of diagnostics, and eventually I'd hand that over to the local company. I was in corporate, set up for the local company, and from there, after the product launch, I handed over to the on-site manufacturing engineer. Yeah, did I ever get into any research? I did get into some research. Like I said, I went to graduate school in the 2000s. So several years after I graduated with my bachelor's. And before I went to graduate school, I worked for an R&D company. So I've done most of my career in actual industry. Then I went into R&D, research and development. And when I was doing R&D, that was when I was going to graduate school as well. So I was, doing a lot of my research was on metrology, quality, the science of measurement, machining, on machine probing, on machine inspection, working with coordinate measurement machines. And again, more GD and T. That was one of the reasons why I actually, did those initial videos. So I did have some, and now, as I'm in a professor now, I've been here since 2014, and I haven't done a whole lot of research. I've done, I've basically done some research, not as much as I would really like, to actually do a lot more of teaching, since I've been here. But I do want to start getting back into some more research, particularly with like Industry 4.0 and, other things that are, going on. A lot of big advancements are taking place. So, sir, what qualities must have for a manufacturing engineer? For a manufacturing engineer, well, I'd say as a manufacturing engineer, you'd have to have a lot of the same qualities for most other type of engineering. You'd have to mechanical type engineering. You'd have to have a good aptitude for math. You have to like science. You'd have to, particularly with manufacturing engineering, I think you'd have to also like to be hands-on. That is one aspect of engineering where the more hands-on you are, the better. You're not just going to be, it's not always as good just to have the theory behind it. I would recommend you get into some of the industry that you want to be a manufacturing engineering for. If you want to be in a foundry, working on metal castings, I would suggest you work there, or at least get some sort of experience physically in a plant. It's probably one of the most physical types of engineering, outside of like oil rigs, engineering, where you're actually on the plant floor diagnosing your problems real time and having to translate that back into your engineering work. So it can be a little bit more intense than, say, a design engineer type work. So let's see. So where did I stop here? Okay, so after I left the company where I was doing the setup, the factories, and that's where I use a lot of my other, the quality background I have kind of parlayed into that. I actually went into back into automotive. So I left that after about 2 years, back into automotive. And from there, I was doing a lot of line setups. And this was when I was for Bakur. This was back when I was a manufacturing engineer, on the floor. So looking at a lot of the quality charts, the SPC, statistical process control, but also I had to do a lot of things like machine diagnostics. So you have a machine that's doing something, weird, breaking drills, uh, machining something out of specification, that you're the manufacturer, you're the guy they're going to call you on. That's why it's so good to have some sort of a hands-on background in that particular type of manufacturing. Because so there's certain things that you won't be able to do or understand as well just from your engineering. Sometimes having had a background and seeing it and experiencing the problem firsthand could actually help you out a lot. Now let's see here. So that was, kind of sums up my background. I mean, I went a little bit out of order, but you can see I started off, as a quality engineer, went into a manufacturing, you got to see plants set up. So I was able to see things done from the ground up. And then, I stayed in automotive, and then eventually went to the R&D firm, consulting firm, which led me to the university that I'm at now, because we did a lot of collaboration with universities on some of the research we did there. Do I have any new plans for the channels? Yes, I do. It's a few things that I would like to do. I should have written this down, but yeah, there are some things I would like to do differently with the channel. Well, first let's go over the origin of this channel. So the channel started off more or less as an aid to my students, my actual students who sat in my class, right? I was actually wanting them to be able to go home after the lecture, log on to something like a YouTube, or make a video for something we went in the class that people didn't really understand very well. And for them to be able to look it up and get, a little 10, 15-minute lecture on it. And then it's kind of gotten from outside of them to people on YouTube actually seeing my videos. And, I guess a lot of people were getting a lot of assistance out of it. A lot of the comments I get are things like, hey, this was explained to me better than what I got at class. So that was my original intent behind the channel, is just to be sort of a reference device that people could log on to YouTube, check it out, and be able to decide, okay, can I hear this lecture? Can I play it over again and kind of go over any weak spots they have? That's why I made those with like playlist and other things, to make sure that people could track down information as quickly and as easily as they could. Now, what are my plans for the future? Well, I haven't made a video in a while, but with this coming semester, I'm thinking about some new videos I want to do. I do want to start going into some mechanical design. I'm actually teaching that this semester, and some for like the senior capstone projects. So I want to do a few more of those. Some of the things that are not necessarily engineering related, but are college student related, that I think people might need. I've seen a lot of people get in trouble with student loans, and one of the big complaints is no one ever explained it to them. I want to start getting my videos a little bit better quality. I got a couple of students who actually do animation, and I would like for them to get involved in some of my videos. I wanted to make my videos very visual, before this. So you can see a lot of my videos don't have a whole lot of calculations in it. I do have some, particularly the differential equation, but they're not loaded with a lot of calculations. And I tend to use a lot of analogies and show a lot of pictures, so that I try and give people a better handle on the concept. And I would like to have something that's more animated to show that a little bit better. Alexander Galkin, greetings from Russia. Thanks a lot. Wow, that is pretty awesome. So you are watching me from Russia. See, this is one of the cool things about having a YouTube channel. Most of the people I talk to every day are here in Cincinnati. So now I know that people in Russia are actually watching me do an engineering work. Thank you for watching my channel, Alexander. But that's one of the things. Oh, and another thing that I would like to do, I would like to work on projects more on my video. I mean, there's a lot of really good people who have engineering videos. They have really good engineering videos, and they actually do projects online, do experiments, or build things. That's one of the things I would like to start doing with my channel. And I don't know when I'll be able to do that. I'll probably have to set that up. It's going to be a lot more camera work, a lot more production work, but it's just just one of those things that I want to make sure I would like to get into. That's what I aspire to. So I would like for people to be able to come in, look at some engineering videos, and maybe see me doing some of the application. So James E. Jr., I would like to hear you also talk about some character traits. Okay. What character traits do you mean particularly? Like your website? Okay, okay, character traits like my website. Okay, so the engineer's reference. Again, so the engineer's reference, that's, if you haven't been there, that's my website, all one word, in the engineer's reference.com. And again, it's set up a lot like my YouTube channel. Only now, you can go in there and just tab through and find videos that I have, and be able to look them up whenever you feel like it. So that's one thing that, but it is going down relatively soon. I'm having a student go in and who's going to do some updates for me. So he said he should be done probably in about 6 weeks. I was on there yesterday, so it's still up, but it probably is going to go out of commission for a little while. So giving it a little bit of a new look. Okay. I hope I'm saying your name right. Selman. All right. Selvam. Yeah, Selvam. Waiting for some. I do plan on making more lectures. I apologize because I have taken a long break between, not because I wanted to take a break, but just because my class loads have been so heavy. I'm teaching some graduate classes this semester, as well as, a full load of undergraduate classes. Actually, it's a little bit more than a full load of undergraduate classes, but there are some topics, short topics in mechanical design, like on cams, that I do want to post videos for. So I do plan on getting some videos back up again. Let's see. Congrats on your reach. Oh yeah, thanks a lot. Thanks a lot, James. You're from Houston. I got a sister down there. She's a professor down there, in Houston. Man, thanks a lot. Yeah, it's awesome to know that there is a big reach here on my topics. That people are actually getting so much out of these videos. I mean, for the long, in the beginning, I was just be happy if a student came in and says he watched my video. But oh, you saw my article. Okay, yeah. So you and 2 other people. So yeah, that was an article, "Make Peace with Being Wrong." That was one of the topics that I thought was important, because I see a lot of my students, students and people I've worked with, that are very nervous about being wrong, very nervous about making a mistake. And that is something that'll freeze you up really badly if you're an engineer. It's better to learn how to mitigate mistakes or learn how to recover from a mistake than to worry about avoiding a mistake or worry about avoiding being wrong. The fear of just being wrong, the fear of embarrassing yourself, the fear of not getting things perfect. I think a lot of good ideas have been locked in and locked in a cage and never let out to the world because people were afraid that they might be wrong. And unfortunately, we're trained to not want to be wrong. We're trained that being wrong somehow is a bad commentary on us. When the fact is you're more likely to be wrong when you're doing something new and growing than if you're doing the same thing over and over again. Then you're probably never going to really you're not going to be wrong in those cases because you're not doing anything new, right? So yeah, that's another thing I need to start doing. I need to start adding to my blog posts, because I haven't done a blog, added a blog in a while now. So that's another thing I'm going to have to start getting more active on. So I'm going to have to start balancing out how many classes I teach with how what I can do on my YouTube channel, as well as updating my website. So tell me, how many else of you have gone to the website and actually, the engineer's reference? Because, like I said, that's still up for a little while, and the student, he's going to be doing some updates on it. So it'll be down for a little bit. But I really did make that so that people can have a free reference. I mean, again, it's all free. So it's not something that's going to, you don't have to pay, you don't have to do something to get through or get over. So it's just a matter of going in and working on your own and at your own pace. Let's see, I got a couple more. So like your article, oh, you're a freshman right now, but I've been applying that early in my education. Okay. Usually I'm the one in class asking a question, then everyone else follows through. Okay, that's good. Yeah, that's another important thing. I got a couple of students this semester that ask a lot of questions, and quite frankly, that makes the class a lot better. If you ask that question, I can guarantee you there's 10 more people in that class that could have asked that question but were afraid to. So that student asking that question, never be afraid to ask questions, especially in class. That's what you're there for. You're there to try and learn. And if something doesn't make sense, challenge it. I mean, that's one of the reasons I have a YouTube channel, is because a lot of times people don't want to ask questions. And one thing, a benefit of asking questions, this doesn't just help you. It doesn't just help the students next to you. It also helps your professor. You'd be surprised the crazy things that you say, that if somebody doesn't question you on them, you never think, well, why didn't I clarify that more? Why didn't I explain myself a little bit more? Or maybe I can use a better analogy. Maybe I could start drawing a picture or do something to make myself more clear. So asking questions is just a good way of giving your professor feedback. Let's see, Bakur, learning very well, and your videos are very interesting to learn, sir. Can you explain the Ackerman steering gear mechanism with animation video? Yeah, I probably will go into a video like that, because that's part of my mechanical design class. And I don't think a lot of people, well, I'm not sure how many people know there are different types of steering mechanisms. I think most people know there's power steering, and then there's non-assisted, but they don't realize that even within power steering, the linkage types are different. So we can explain, some of the different types of 4-bar linkages, which is really what a steering mechanism in a car is. It's a 4-bar linkage, and how one system might be different from another, and what some of the benefits are. So let's see. Of the people here: James, Captain Crazy, Alexander, Selvam, Bakur. I mean, what parts of engineering are you in? Is everybody here an engineer, or some of you, engineers? Some of you might just be somebody who's got a weird interest in this stuff. What is some of the background? I'm curious who watches my videos. Is it just college students? Is it people at work? Somebody who I had a couple of people who said that they looked up my GD&T videos from a job, trying to get some clarity on a few things on blueprint reading. So I wasn't sure who am I appealing to here. Oh, electrical engineering. Okay. Why would you? Okay, I'm just curious. What brings you to my channel? I am lost in electrical stuff. So I can't. I can hook up a light bulb and do a couple of 8th grade experiments, but maybe a little bit more than that. But I am definitely not not somebody who could do an electrical engineering video. Alexander, you're a design engineer. Oh, and consumer goods. Okay, no, that sounds like a pretty interesting job. That sounds pretty cool. So, I remember watching a documentary one time where they were talking about designers, and how, because of things like AutoCAD and the ability to change a design quickly, that a lot of industry started booming back during the 80s and 90s. Let's see. Last name Vivek. I'm not sure. I don't want to butcher your first name. So mechanical engineering, manufacturing. Oh, okay. Are you actually studying that, or are you actually practicing, or you're in the field now? Or I'm just curious what you're getting at. Where you're at in your trajectory. Akbar Aziz, QA. Okay, looking to improve GD&T, and that for somebody in QA, in the quality department, that's a pretty valuable thing to have. It's a really valuable skill to have. That not just in quality, but in manufacturing as well. It's just a really valuable thing. And maybe I'll do some more videos. Was planning on doing like 1 or 2 videos on that topic, but maybe I should go through the whole full course. I actually did a video, or I actually used to teach that course before I went into academics again. So, sir, what is the importance of mathematics in engineering? Is it useful? Uh, yeah, it's pretty important, depending on where you're at, and the level of mathematics. If, there's so many softwares now that the stereotypical engineer with the slide rule and calculator is not quite as prevalent as it has been in the past. But you still need to have a good understanding about mathematics. I think mathematics gives you discipline. It helps you think logically. It kind of helps you build a philosophy on how to problem solve. Helps you think very systematically. Um, if you're going into quality or quality engineering, that probably uses a lot more mathematics and a lot more statistics. That branch of mathematics. Um, so good, you have to develop your statistics vocabulary. If you're going into design, or if you're going into manufacturing, there's a lot of times for mathematics. And it's just a good thing to know as an engineer, because it can break down into a lot of different problems. But I'm gonna say the majority of your problems, you're not using differential equations necessarily, even though that's still good to understand and know. But I think it's good to have the discipline of mathematics in your mental toolbox. Let's see here. Mathematics. Okay, I majored in mechanical. Okay, good. Oh my goodness, you're from Turkey. Wow. Well, good to have you on here, Captain Crazy, and love the screen name. It's like, again, I am humbled every time I see somebody from far away overseas listening to my voice, thinking, okay, how can people really take that much interest in something I have to say? Or how can I have something to say that could interest people from different parts of the world? So you changed your major from so you were a mechanical engineer. So no, nothing is mechanical, but electrical just called to me. Okay, I mean, that's understandable. So getting your associate's degree in automotive. Now that is pretty smart. That's pretty smart to get some good handle on the automotive industry. The automotive industry is changing quickly, and there will always be places for mechanical and electrical engineers in the automotive industry. And the more you can, get yourself anchored in, and the more knowledgeable you are as you enter in, the better. Who knows? And you're a freshman now. Maybe in 4 years, I'll be talking to an engineer from Tesla. With developing something with longer battery life, or some sort of capacitor or something for one of their new model cars. Thanks a lot if you're making the GT&D course. Okay, thanks. And I'm still impressed and humbled that people like to enjoy that course. That's one of the most popular courses, important popular classes that I have made. A lot of people have gotten a lot out of that. I actually had a student of mine email me asking if I have a YouTube channel called Infinity MFG, Infinity Manufacturing MFG, and because he said the guy on there sounded like me, because he was looking up GD&T videos, and it was funny. I didn't realize. I mean, I thought he knew, as he was in my class. I think I sent it to my engineer's reference channel. Hello, Shrikant. Captain Crazy, thank you. So you're awesome. So thank you, Captain Crazy. Oh, in India, yeah. Now I'm here. Now I do see a lot of people on my channel. When I look at my subscribers, my what's that called? My data, or I can't remember the official name for analytics. My analytics. There's India is in the United States are where a lot of people who watch my subscribers are from. So hello to India. So what other videos other than GD&T are important to you guys? You're a lecturer in engineering college. My students are scaring to mathematics. Oh, you're from India. So you mean they don't like the mathematics, or is that what you're saying? Or as far as an engineer's course, an engineering curriculum, they're going to have to get used to the mathematics part of it. And I think a lot of people get intimidated by mathematics. So There's gonna be some way. I mean, I think with math, I actually had to teach a couple of math classes when I first started as a professor, and one of the best ways I think you can get around that fear of math is, number one, going at it incrementally, taking it in small bites and repetition. Repeat it until finally you're comfortable with it again. And believe it or not, watching a variety of YouTube videos, not just me, but seeing the same problem explained by several different people. There's a lot of times I think mathematics is a little intimidating because it's not always explained in a way that makes people feel like they're going to get their get a handle on things. Design calculations. I'm what do you specifically do you mean by design calculations? I do have some calculations I am going to go into, and for like cam design. And so those will be some of the calculations. Those are, I mean, they're long and tedious calculations, but they're also relatively simplistic math, that I can go into, and hopefully that'll help people out. Thank you, very confident. Oh, well, the way I see it is, they don't let dummies into electrical engineering programs. So I think that, the question at this point is just maintaining your discipline. And like I said, with an automotive background, or trained in automotive technology, as well as how the industry's changing, there's going to be a lot of opportunity there, a lot of opportunity, and you're you know with the right amount of discipline, the right amount of interest, and just basic curiosity, I have little doubt that you'll do well. Oh, shaft diameter. Oh, okay. Yeah. I think I've touched on some of those videos. Simple calculation like shaft diameter to length ratio. Because I did a whole series. Well, they weren't necessarily design videos. They were in my strength of materials or mechanics of materials videos. I did I was teaching that was it last summer or summer before last? And I like topped out that playlist at like 12 videos, torsion equations and a few other things, on that in that playlist. But yeah, my mechanics of materials videos are pretty, that and my kinematics videos, there are those playlists. Those are pretty well complete. So I think I would hope that people will get a little something out of those. Don't seem to do quite as well. I think people literally do go in and reference those. I don't think they really go in there because they even though I think they're well done, but I think those happen to be the ones that people go in to just kind of reference. Greetings from hopefully Aachen, Germany. Epifan. Well, hello, Epifan. Hello, Aachen, Germany. Again, nice to know that I've traveled the world, even just through my virtual voice. So Russia, Turkey, India, and Germany. Where else? And here in the good old U.S. of A. and Houston. So this is a video. So these 20,000 people that watch have really, like I've touched off on a lot of parts of the world here. So let's see. So what else did I not say? So like I said, I went through my whole career, my whole spiel. I didn't say I got my undergraduate at Purdue, and then I went back for graduate school, back to Purdue, because they were pretty. Oh, Green from Los Angeles. Man, this is awesome. I have family out there. My mother's family is from Los Angeles, or lives in Los Angeles. So beautiful weather, and a lot of fun to go out there and visit. Yours truly, John. That is, some of these screen names are awesome. Yours truly, John. So let's see here. So is there anything else that you guys want to know? Like right now, 20,000, the big 20K. What more can I tell you? What more are you interested in? I kind of knew that the education thing would come up. I went into like career stuff, and trying to think what else would be even remotely interesting about me. Where I'm teaching now, at the University of Cincinnati. But yeah, I do plan on going. I mean, the one question I do want to go back into doing a little bit more research, getting more on the cutting edge again of things. But I do enjoy the teaching aspect of it. I even even do enjoy doing some of the videos. Or not some of the videos. I do enjoy doing the videos, but I enjoy the process of making them, and kind of helps me kind of understand the topic a little bit better. I had somebody once say to me, if you really want to learn a topic, prepare to teach it to somebody else. Then all of a sudden you got to ask yourself all the little questions and question all your little assumptions before you go off and say something that doesn't quite make sense to somebody. So let's see here. So this was my 20,000 subscriber. Hopefully this went over well. I don't know whether this will be something I'll do more regularly. I mean, I kind of just noticed that a lot of people were doing these long live stream videos, and thought it might be a good idea to go ahead and do this some kind of way, have everybody be able to ask questions. So what did you research? And if you go back into research, what would you research? Well, in the past, what I researched was more about, okay, I worked on a project, when I was in the R&D company that I before I went to become a professor. We were doing research in smart technology, smart machining. A machine that could adjust and adapt, take feedback, its own feedback, and correct itself. And that was pretty much what I was working on then. And my particular part was, like I said, it was on machine inspection. So it was like a CMM coordinate measurement machine probe that would actually touch off on the part, measure certain key points, and make corrections, send corrections back to the machine, to the computer, and make some sort of adjustment. So that was pretty interesting. That was also what I was doing my thesis and whatnot. Yeah. Now, what I would like to go into is things like the Internet of Things, fourth industrial revolution, uh, IIoT, things that involve the connectivity of the manufacturing process. There's a lot of bypassing of the manufacturing process. A lot of people wanting to adapt it and speed it up, make it more efficient. And I'm curious as to how that's being applied and why people are applying it and what it is that they're trying to achieve and what type of problems they're running into. Basically make it so that people can do this a lot more efficiently, a lot more effectively. At the end of the day, I want manufacturing to be something. I mean, manufacturing is a very important thing. As far as the world's economy goes. This is very hard for a country or even a city or a town to have a good economy with no touch in manufacturing. I mean, I don't care what anybody says. You bring manufacturing to a place, their economy starts to improve. And it's been seen over and over again that manufacturing is a good source of job. You're taking raw materials, you're creating value, and in creating that value, you create jobs. So manufacturing is important, and if something makes manufacturing easier and makes it more efficient, then that's better for everybody. So let's see, which fields would you suggest for design engineers? When you say fields, I'm thinking, do you mean like what industries, or do you mean specifically what? I'm trying to think what you mean by fields. But, I think in consumer goods are good. I mean, again, the automotive industry is really important um, for design engineers. But design engineers are all over the place. I mean, if you can put your hand on it, a design engineer was involved in it. It's very hard to not for a good design engineer to not be involved in something. Mr. Tutti Frutti. Hell. Again, another good screen name. Where are you from, Mr. Tutti Frutti? Let's see here. So yeah, so again, so I would, if I were to get into any research, it would, my research would have to be in things like the application of those two, because I think those are going to. Oh, another guy from Russia. Okay, wow, man, this is really great. That again, that you know uh, this channel is affecting so many people. 12:08 a.m. in India, is useful to Indian engineers. With your live stream, they are sleeping now. Okay, yeah, it's in the afternoon here, so I needed to get something. Thursday I don't teach classes, so I usually do all my grading. So I was doing that this morning, and now this seems like a good window of time for me to have a live stream. Oh, do you want to be an engineer? So you're a student, or are you changing careers? Yeah, Mr. Tutti Frutti. So good, because it sounds like a lot of people here are students. Yeah, Mr. Tutti Frutti is also a student, so it looks like a lot of people here are students that actually have. I'm actually impressed that some people here are actually instructors, and watch my videos. I guess, like I said, it's a good I try to make a good reference tool out of it. Hoping that people could, just come in, log in, grab the information they need, and then be on their way. So something where it's a nice free resource for everyone. So it's good to see that it's having its effect. That a lot of people are. It was just Mr. To think twice. so it's so it's good to see that a lot of people are gaining something from this channel, and maybe even from the engineer's reference. And yeah, so I do want to add some to the engineer, to the YouTube channel, start posting on my blog again, make my, and hopefully my YouTube, my the engineer's reference website will start to be more interesting and more comprehensive to people. I might start paying students to add to my blog, so that people can get more than just my point of view on things. So let's see. So maybe I should start to wrap this up. Again, I appreciate everybody, for coming to my hangout. Wasn't sure if I was going to just be here talking to myself. Um, let everybody know where I came from, why I was doing this as far as my channel, and then you know I'll try to get out some more good content, and that'll help you out. Just I guess the best thing I can ask of you is just give me feedback. Let me know what type of things, what type of topics you would like me to start making videos on. If there's something that is not necessarily have it covered, hopefully it's something I know something about. And because that's what the channel's here for. Good to meet you too, James. All right. South Africa. Man, this is really awesome. Just finished your mechanical engineering. Man, that is awesome. That is awesome. Have you found you started employment yet? And so this is great. This is great to have people from so many parts of the world. And knowing that they've gotten something from something I did. Some more GD&T videos. Okay. I think that does seems to be the one that's gotten the most attention. Selection of datum. Okay. So let me go ahead and wrap this up. I didn't know you necessarily want to be on too long. So this is about 46 minutes, online. Well, that was probably one of my longest videos. So I'll see you soon. Don't forget to join, or not join, but keep watching for videos. You can look up my old stuff from the engineer's reference, and we can go ahead and start looking at some changes to that site, as well as getting some hopefully better videos. Something that might actually be a little more animated, get people get a little more concept. Alrighty, so thanks a lot for watching, and I will talk to you guys later. Let me disconnect myself here.